Hello and welcome to episode 6 of 14 Women, a series of short vlogs that I've put together to remember the 14 women who have been killed by either serving or former police officers across the UK since 2009. Today I want to talk to you about Natalie Esack. She was killed by her husband, Ivan Esack. They were split up at the time, so he was her ex-husband. And the really concerning thing about this case is she had actually reported to the police at least 5 times previous to the murder of harassment and threats made by Ivan Esack. The thing that I'd really like to dig into with this case is whether or not he was given preferential treatment because he was an ex-detective with the police force. So it's likely that he would know a lot of people in that police force. Now, could things have been done more robustly before that to ultimately mean that this murder wouldn't have taken place? We don't know, but certainly something that should be looked at, I think. There was definitely a review after this which said that the police had failed to investigate the previous reports of domestic abuse that Natalie made to them. So on the 30th of April 2012, Ivan went and bought a knife, and then he went to Natalie's salon where she was working, and he stabbed her to death. He said in interviews that he'd got the knife he wanted to slash his wrists in front of her to make her feel guilty about what she had done to him. We see this a lot with perpetrators of domestic abuse. They will often threaten to harm themselves or threaten to kill themselves to get their victim to either stay with them or to get their victim to feel guilty, which is exactly what he's admitted to doing. But he has, instead of hurting himself, he has obviously killed Natalie, sadly. As I've said before, I think it's really important that we remember these women, and the reason I'm doing this is I'm calling for a public inquiry into misogyny and domestic abuse in the police, starting with the Metropolitan Police, but eventually I do think that every force will need to be looked at in terms of this. And I think a lot of victims of domestic abuse from police officers don't feel like they can speak up, and I know that there are reports of domestic abuse being made against police officers still today regularly across the UK. The ones that are reported are the tip of the iceberg. Let's remember that whatever crimes are recorded and convicted are always the tip of the iceberg. Tomorrow, episode 7, we'll be talking about the sad case of Victoria Rose. Thank you.